I really would have liked to have played the Janis Joplin song, the Piece of My Heart, so I could have sung the song, Take Another Little Piece of My Heart Now, Massachusetts. Here's a story about my trip to Massachusetts. Greetings and welcome back to another tidily deceptive episode of the Vodkast. Yes, we will be having some Colonial Doughnuts made by a good friend of mine, Kyle Dole. I have to admit, though, I've actually tried all of these except for the coconut one because I'm not a huge coconut fan. But we are going to get onto that review and demo before the video grows too long. But this is one of the episodes for my kids and my kids' kids. So this is the story of my trip to Massachusetts to visit my friend Frank on his 50th birthday party. Our nephew Isaac came down from Vermont. I know that sounds crazy. Like he drove, like, I don't know what it is, 10 hours, 12 hours. Anywho, he got here way earlier than we expected him to, so we were able to get on the road, unfortunately, very quickly because we didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. And I was really looking forward to when we got back spending time with him, but he had to get back, life calls or whatever. So future plans, get together with Isaac. Anywho, we left on Thursday morning around 7:40, if I'm not mistaken. The trip up was horrendous. Every moment, through Virginia. Virginia was fine. Virginia always seems to be fine until you get to D.C. Then, of course, you run into a little bit of traffic there. But we didn't run into much of it, and we got through D.C. relatively quickly. But shortly thereafter, the skies opened up after the grade over, and lightning was all over the sky, and it was coming down. I don't even know how to explain it. It's because buckets and sheets don't explain how much rain was coming down all the way through New York, into Connecticut. I think it finally eased up as we were finally getting to the end of our trip, but it was pouring the whole way, and it was foggy, and I'm already not good at night driving, so that was a 14-hour day of driving. I think we stopped once near the end of the day, and I was just telling Carol, this is a funny story because we'd been on the road, and there was a few things I wanted to do whilst we were on the road, and to get to eat while we were on the road, and one of them was Papa Gino's, the other one was D'Angelo's, and lo and behold, we pull into this rest stop, and they're both available there. I'm like, this is a sign. So we got D'Angelo's, and it was exactly as I remembered it as a kid. They could have added a little bit more sauce, and their prices are astronomically ridiculous. You got your 6-inch, your 9-inch, and your 12-inch. If I'm not mistaken, that 12-inch, I'm not going to quote it because I don't want to give them a bad rep. Speaking of food, we get there. Okay, so we get there, we settle in. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning we go to bed. I get up at 6 in the morning, ready to go. I wake up the kids, make sure they're ready to go. I know they're going to take a while. So Carol and I decide we're going to hit the road and find the nearest Dunkin' Donuts, which is literally less than a mile. But we wanted to go to this other one. I don't remember why we ended up going to this other one. It's in Stowe rather than Bolton. And it's in a house. It was just built recently. And for whatever reason, I don't know the story, but on its grand opening, they renamed the city Duncan for one day. I think that's pretty cool. It's funny. It's reinvigorated my love of Dunkin' Donuts too. I got this here in Lynchburg yesterday. I never drink coffee. When I started cutting back on sugar, I don't like coffee without sugar. And I'm sure there's some artificial sweetener that's fine, but that's probably going to be just as bad for you as sugar is. So I don't drink a lot, but I drank one every single morning, and I think I had an iced coffee one afternoon. And let me tell you something. If you like mint chocolate chip, the mint chocolate chip coffee, hot or cold, is very good. Cold, though, just go hog wild. Just admit it. It's candy. Take all the sugar you want in that drink because it makes it worthwhile. If you're not into wicked sweet, just have them hold back the sugar because the mint chocolate chip swirl is sweet enough. Okay, what was it? Okay, day 1. We decided we're going to go to Newport Beach, do the cliff walks, and spend some time on the beach. So we drive down there, get into town, and the funny thing is along this road, we go through Middletown, Rhode Island, and my cousins grew up in Middletown, Rhode Island for a good chunk of their life, and I saw a few streets, and I'm like, I think that was their street, and so I tried to text my cousin Melissa, but she must have been busy at the time because she didn't get back to me. Anywho, it would have been cool to see that old neighborhood. There was definitely very it was a very landmarky town. When I went to go visit them in the summers and we'd spend a week or two together, it was a lot of fun. So we did that. We did the cliff walks, beautiful as always. I've got tons of pictures and videos. So here, take a look at this cliff face right here. Be happy that video exists, because living in the moment is tough, and I think my whole family got to experience it for 4 days. Like every second of every day we tried to fill, because when you're only there for 3 days and you live there for 30 years, there's a lot of things you want to see and catch up on. And a lot of things didn't get done along this trip, but a lot of things did. And one of the coolest things was meeting my friends at Crystal's Kitchen. My friend Paul, his favorite restaurant is Crystal's Kitchen. He's always posting about it on social media. I'm like, you know what? I've got to try this. If we're going to be in town, we have to try Crystal's Kitchen. So we invited Paul to join us. My friend Mike joined us, who was in this episode of the Dungeons & Dragons, the teleporting episode. I think it was talking about the effects of teleportation. Jess and Herbie were there. Yeah, we invited a few more people that didn't make it. Anywho, the food was unbelievable. Crystal's Kitchen is a 10. I'm not a huge fan of Thai food, but I got the oh God, what did I get? Mongolian beef. Don't do it, Jay. The Mongolian beef. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. Not only was it thoroughly enjoyed, but the vegetables were so incredibly fresh and well, like, grilled and charred, just enough to make them, a little bit less pliable, you know what I mean? Or more pliable, because you know how vegetables can be, like, peppers and stuff like that. Anyway, delicious. It's a 10. If you find yourself in West Bridgewater, Massachusetts, you should definitely check out Crystal's Kitchen. We get to meet Crystal. She sent dessert over on the house for us at the end of the night, and I think she cut us a good discount. So thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Paul, for introducing me to that place. Thank you, Mike, for showing up. Thank you for Jess and Herbie. And you guys taking care of the bill was super classy. I appreciate that a lot. But also, this trip was really tight, and it almost didn't happen near the end, so I have to thank my father-in-law. I won't mention him by name, because I'm sure he doesn't want to be mentioned by name on the internet. However, a lot of this wouldn't have happened. Some of the meals that we had, we couldn't have had without him, so that was really nice of him. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, I only took these 2 rocks from Newport Beach. They called to me. They were singing in the sand. Speaking of the sand, check out this video. That was a phenomenon I'd never experienced before. Carol pointed it out to me. She's like, look at the sand. Look at the way it's going. The dry is going over the wet. I'm sure I've seen it as a kid, but I didn't remember it. And there was another cool video, too, that I'll talk about right now, as it's probably rolling, where I was trying to capture the undertow of the sand being pulled back out to sea. I think I got it, but either way, dipping my toes, it'd been so long since I'd seen the ocean. I'm glad I did. Nonetheless, we get back, we ate. Paul invited us back out to his house. Originally, Jess and Herbie and I and my family were going to go ghost hunting on 44, but we realized with the amount of people that were there that would have been interested in going, we would have had to take multiple cars, and it wouldn't have been as fun. We wanted to spend time together. So we said, we'll see you at the party tomorrow. We headed over to Paul's, and I got to play with my good friend Paul Lorenzo. I've known Paul since I was in high school. Probably 92, if I had to guess. I remember right around that time being friends with Bob and Jen and Dave and Tanya, the Melansons. And Bob had joined Fragments of an Otherwise Twisted Bone, which was a band that Paul was in playing drums at the time. So I've always had and Paul's an amazing artist and a really cool guy. Way more organized than I thought he was, too. When I saw his bills and when they're due, wow, impressive, man. Whew, I couldn't do that. I can't. Just weird. It's in my head, but I can't put it down. We go back to Paul's, and I got to play with Paul, and it was just a bunch of cover songs. It was one of those things I haven't played with anyone in 5 years. I sit around and I play with myself all day. You know what I mean. I pick up the guitar at least once a day. I just feel like that's really important to always play a song or two. Just feel that guitar in your hand. Anywho, back to the thing. So I got to play with Paul, had a really good time. Got to meet his cat Yogi. Yoshi, and then, to my surprise, Bob Melanson shows up and Dave Melanson shows up. Yep, Bob is out from California to visit for Frank's 50th birthday party, as are a lot of people from out of town, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Oh, my God. Okay, now I got to take this call. So for time purposes, I'm going to have to leave this as it is today. But I can't leave you without at least doing this, the review. And as I do so, I'm going to try to talk a little bit about Bob and Dave showing up and getting to play with all of them was one of, if not the highlights of the whole trip. Like, it was just a great night hanging out with friends that I hadn't hung out with in that group. I mean, maybe 30 years. After high school, you go your own way sometimes. Bob moved out to California sometime. He came back every now and again. I'd see him around, but hanging out with Bob, Dave, and Paul was wacky. And having the boys there and Carol there was like, because they never, experienced that, hanging out. And we all played instruments, and Paul's got all these instruments. Anywho, I really do got to get going because I have to take a walk to go get our car, which is at Carol's. This knife is dirty. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to score these anyway because I have already tried. I have not tried this one, I think. No, this is the blueberry? Is this blueberry? I don't know. We'll try it anyway. Oh, good God. So here's one thing I have to say about these donuts. Nothing really negative. They preserve really well. Now, I know Kyle well enough to know that he's not adding, unnatural preservatives to these, but they lasted the whole trip moist. They're still as moist as the day we got them. It was crazy. We showed up. We were going to eat at Seafood and Cones, which is ice cream and in a seafood place, which their food was really good. I enjoyed it. I'll give you a review of that in the second part of this episode. I apologize that I have to go. Normally, I would love to just wrap this up. So here's the blueberry one. Let me eat this real quick. So all of these donuts that I've had so far are more like a cakier donut. They're a little bit heavier. And I like that. I like any kind of donut. There are those who only like a light and fluffy donut, and if that is your shtick, you may not be into these. But these do have kind of an interesting kind of texture to them, so I would highly recommend trying them. Blueberry is great. Love it. I'm going to give it an 8. This is the glazed donut. This may not have lasted as well. I can feel it's a little bit stiffer. However, I have had this, so in having had this, I know what it tastes like, but for the sake of argument, here we go. Now, I can't say that I tried any Dunkin' Donuts donuts while I was up there. I was trying to be good as possible because I was trying to save the calories for the bigger meals that we were planning on having later on down the road. But that being said, compared to what I remember a Dunkin' Donuts being, and my last time I probably had one of those was here in Virginia, and their donuts are not the same, even in appearance. When I looked at the Boston cream donut from where we live, they're like these little round things. But you go up to Stowe, and they're bigger, and they're more oblong, and you can tell that they're cared for by hand. It's not just a machine doing all that. All right. Cinnamon bun, honey bun, coffee roll. I'm not sure what you call this. Definitely going to need all that. Oh, that's a lot. That one's my favorite. I like that one a lot. I'm assuming it's the excessive amount of butter in between each layer. Oh, my God. That's like melt in your mouth. Not as much today as it was before. Good God, that's a really good donut. That one I'm going to give a 9.5. The glazed donut, probably so far the least favorite of all of these, but still good. I'd say I'd also give that one, it's again a 7.5. It's a little weird to be so dense to me, being a glazed donut. Those I think I prefer light. I think of Krispy Kreme when I think of those. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking that. It's still great. The flavor is great. The texture is great. Now, this is probably, out of all of them, my least favorite, just because I'm not a coconut fan, but I will do my best to score this honorably. Here we go. I feel like there's something stronger. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy shit, lemon. It's like a lemon donut. And the texture of the coconut, which I normally don't like, it's so fine on there. Is it coconut? I mean, it's sweet on the outside. I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely coconut in there, but holy hell, that's a great donut. I'm going to give that one a 9. The taste is great. The texture is great. The sweetness is up there, but not too sweet. And like I was saying earlier, Kyle showed up at the seafood restaurant that we were all going to go out to eat at. And it was great to hang out with him and his family a brief while because it was chaos at the party, which in episode 2 we'll talk about that. But he gets there, and we're all there just hanging out, waiting for everybody to show up. Artie's there. Got to see Artie. We'll talk about that in the next episode. We go to the Dirt Mall on Sunday, so that'll be day 3. We're on day 1. No, we're on day 2. I don't know what day we're on anymore. He shows up, and he's like, if anybody wants any donuts, I guess the day before they sold out. They couldn't keep the donuts on the shelf. But day 2, he made more than they needed, and so they ended up with twice as much. So he's like, if anybody wants any donuts, just grab a bag or whatever. So he brings out this tray of donuts, probably like 60 donuts. And I'm like, holy fuck. I expected like maybe he'd have like a dozen or 2 dozen or something like that. And then he brings out another tray and another tray and another. And all of a sudden, the back of his car is just covered in donuts, variations of donuts. Some are all one. Some you got half and half. Some you got a mixture of it. It was unbelievable, the amount of donuts. So needless to say, we filled up 2 paper bags. I'd say we grabbed maybe 30 donuts, and we brought them back to Kim, Kai, and Keith's house, and we're going to talk about in the next episode. Unfortunately, I do have to go, but Colonial Doughnut's review and demo, if you're in Taunton, Massachusetts, you're into donuts, you got to check out Colonial Doughnut's. My friend Kyle works over there making the donuts. He's a little magic worker right there, so thank you guys for checking out this episode. If you're loving the content I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, would you please consider subscribing to the channel? It would be a huge, huge favor for me. Props, Taunton. Thanks for having me. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain is one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love, but never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much just the way you are. Okay? Good. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodkast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down. I'll catch you a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends, and happy adventuring.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.